Welcome back, folks. A new setting today, a new camera, not a new camera but just trying a different camera, and a bit of a different subject today rather than the Enfield videos. I thought I'd do a review on the Bell Moto 3 Fast House Edition. I've had it for pretty much exactly a year now, got it beginning of last January. It's not had as much use as I would have liked with all what's going on and not being able to get out as much, but still it has had a good bit of use, and I've done a few little bits to it in addition. So just basically starting off, this is a size large, and it is, according to this, 1350 grams, give or take 50 grams. That in contrast to my previous helmet, the Bell MX9 Adventure. This had a lot of use. This is only a medium, but I tried the Bell Moto 3 in a medium and it was just way too tight. It's a narrower fit than this one, so that's something to bear in mind if you are changing helmets. I think the more modern shape of these, it's a little bit of a rounder profile, a bit more room to tuck your big ears, etc. Whereas the Bell Moto 3 is a narrower fit, which I think actually looks better, that it's not so, you don't look quite like a Lego head. The same with this on. A bit of a nicer profile. I also like, with it being a more of a motocross style, obviously the classic one, bigger opening for goggles. So I've got some Oakleys in here at the moment, just modern style Oakleys, and I've also got some 100% goggles as well. So they fit fine, no problem at all, easy to get in and out, easy to pull off and put somewhere else as well. I'll just take them off, so very easy. That's one of the reasons I went to a dedicated goggle one rather than the one with the visor, because all I did was this one was remove the visor, but even with the visor removed, you see where the peak fits, it comes down lower, so I was always faffing trying to tuck my strap up inside that, and I just prefer riding with goggles. I just don't get on with visors, they just mist up and stuff. I know they obviously got a lot of benefits, but I just don't seem to get on with them, so I wanted to go dedicated goggles. Don't have the issue with the strap sitting, because with the Bell Moto 3 the peak sits higher up, so your strap fits in. It's easy just to take your goggles on and off whilst you're still wearing the helmet. The other one I felt I had a lot of faffing about with it. Downsides to this, I would say, I'm going to deal with this rather than sort of going into too much product detail, pulling it in bits and that. There'll be plenty of videos covering the Moto 3 in general with Revzilla, etc., pulling them in bits, so you'll know pretty much how they're constructed internally. I'll just touch on it's a traditional buckle rather than a ratchet, as is the previous one that I had, and I get on with them fine. Downsides then that I came across, obviously when I first ordered it, I ordered the medium and it was a little bit small, so I sent that back, got another one in a large, and then I noticed the peak was really flimsy, like you just sort of tapped your finger and it rattled up and down, and I tried adjusting it's held on with press studs. I tried adjusting the press studs, I just couldn't do anything to make it sit properly. This one, if I get hold of it with both fingers and pull it up and down, it still appears to be a bit flimsy, but it isn't in practice. It doesn't move around on the road, it is only when you tug on it. So that was something to look out for. Perhaps if you're buying it in a shop, just make sure the one you get hold of, it does sit in place, because like I say, it just kept, as you went like that, it would drop down again, so it would definitely have rattled in use. That contrasted with my wife's got a open face Bell. She doesn't wear it a great deal, but that's got the sort of classic round peak with I think 3 press studs, and that is absolutely bulletproof firm, doesn't move at all. You can swing on it and it's a lot more firm than what this one is. So although I find this a little bit flimsy, I could still mount my GoPro upside down in here. It does interfere with your vision a bit because this sits a lot lower. I used to do the same thing with this one, with this, and have it, I had 2 options. I had one on top and one underneath, but because of the way the peak sat up, there was a bit, by the time the camera didn't really interfere with your vision, which I find it does a little bit on this one. So that's what has now sent me towards the chin mount, and I did a lot of research trying to find a chin mount that would fit the Moto 3. As you can see on here, you've got quite a projection, the design of the helmet, and because of that, you can't get a normal GoPro mount or anything to fit without having lots of adjustments and like all your little bits sticking off the side of the helmet or whatever. So I made a mount for it, and I saw not specifically for the Bell Moto 3, but I saw a video on YouTube. I can't remember whose it was, but nice little video just showing how to make a custom mount to fit your helmet. Now I've made that out of can't remember what it's called, quick steel or quick metal, the stuff they use for repairing your cases if you smash them, your engine cases, etc. Quick metal stuff. So the way to do that was put masking tape over this part of the helmet, get your quick putty, quick metal stuff ready, and then shape it onto your helmet over the masking tape. You want to make sure it's on the masking tape, not onto your helmet, because it will just adhere to your helmet and you won't get it off again, and then you will have ruined your helmet. I had a little bit of panic because you can see these grills, because it adhered so well sort of through the masking tape, the way it sort of took its shape. I thought it wasn't going to come off, but it did come off. And then once you've done that, this one isn't perfect, you've got a little bit of a gap there, but you can once you've made it, you can then sand it down. You'll end up with it sort of all squeezing out, and then you just, once you've done it, just sand it down with a grinder or something just to make that neat, and then stick a normal GoPro adhesive pad, and then gives you the options for your chin mount then. I'm still experimenting with how longer things to use on that, but that's digressing a little bit. But that's just if you've got one of these, you may have been struggling for helmet mount, so that's what I've done, and I find it very good. Another downside I find, I've got the Sena, I can't remember which it is, the Sena or Sena 10S I think they are. I've mounted it to this one using the clamp. I previously had it stuck to my other helmet. I had to bend the mount and get some slightly longer bolts to make it work right. That isn't a downside in itself. The downside is because of the narrow fitment of the helmet, fitting the speakers in there, although they are only very slim, I found, and I think it's just my anatomy, when I first fitted it, after a bit of a ride, I felt quite a bit of pain in my left ear, and it was just putting a bit of pressure, unwanted pressure. I've now redone them, and you can't see them. They're behind the liner of the helmet, and now they seem pretty much fine. I can just detect them, but not enough to bother me. Also, slightly disappointed in these cheek pads, the sort of, I think that's fake leather, vinyl stuff here, where it folds round, it is a little bit pointy there, and with my bald head I do find that it sort of just a little bit of a pressure point, but I don't notice it if I've got a thin balaclava on. So it's just, I think with having a completely bare head, it just doesn't, I just feel that. But like I say, with the balaclava I don't. And again, that will probably settle down. I've had it a year, as I said, but not loads of use out of it yet. Final downside, not so much on this one, but on, I noticed one of the other ones I got, the graphic isn't terribly well applied round the lip. I mean, even on this one you can just see where it's sort of kind of not quite stuck down where this lip covers it. Only a minor point and not something that you bothered about really. I did on one of them though, there was a bit of a bubble around where this pin for your straps fastens, so I didn't like that. That was another, not a reason for sending it back, because the main thing was the size or the peak, but again wasn't entirely happy with that. I really like the design of the Fast House one. I use this both on my Honda Grom, which is white and black with a red fender, so it matches lovely with that, and then also wear it on the Interceptor 650 obviously, which is black, and the more classic design, so I think it fits in fine with that, particularly with my Scrambler style on that. But overall, very happy with the purchase. Although I've focused on a few downsides, I think overall I am more happy with it than I was with this one. I always felt this was a bit of a compromise, and wish I'd gone just more of a more focused off-road one to start with, and because I did do more off-road, I probably will do more as we're allowed to go out. And this one, for comparison weight wise, this is a size smaller and is 1640 grams plus or minus 50 grams, compared with, as I said, 1350 grams plus or minus 50 grams, so a bit of a weight difference in those. And as I said, fits fine with the goggles. It comes obviously in the usual Bell box with a Bell bag to keep it in. I've had these goggles for ages now, they're getting a bit worse for wear. I folded in bits. I don't know what model they are, I can't remember. I've got these in the 100% ones. I find these to be slightly more comfortable around the nose. I find the 100% ones just push and affect my breathing a little bit. Also, this has got a nose guard, so it just keeps the bugs off and stuff. I find when you're at relatively high speed and you get a big fly on the end of your nose, it does hurt, so that's a bonus as well. Keeps a bit of wind off as well, just as a side note. But yeah, overall, although I've mentioned those negatives, I would definitely buy it again. Also, just a bit of a plug for where I got it from, Urban Rider, and bought a few things from them now. Not pay full price for everything, etc., and just use them. I've had they do very good customer service. Both my wife and I have bought stuff from them: gloves, helmet, other clothing. Wife's got a leather jacket, trousers, etc. from there. Very, very good shipping, very good service, and I tend to find the prices are very good. They also have a reward scheme, so basically the more stuff you buy, you run up tokens for money off, so you can get vouchers, and they start from sort of 5, 10, 20 onwards, and they're quite good. I've got quite a few points pending at the moment, so eventually I'll use them on something when I need something else. So yeah, Urban Rider, based down in London, very, very good firm from my experience. Never been to the shop, but the online service is very, very handy, very good. So very impressed with them. And I think that's all I've really got to say. Overall, once it's on, very comfortable. Comes on and off easily. Does pull a little bit on my sticky out ears, and but what I do like is how easy it is to take your goggles on and off. And also put it on with the goggles in place. I don't really hurt myself with them, which I did a little bit on that one. Tend to scratch again my bald head. But yeah, hope you found this useful. If you're new here, please check out my other videos. Done a lot of Interceptor 650 videos, and previous to that we've done a bit of all sorts of travelling videos and such. And at the moment I'm excited. I'm working on my dream garage project, still waiting on my consents on it, but I've just you may have seen there's one on the channel, just clearing the site, bit of site clearance. We just did some more on that the other day to get it tidy. So if any motorcycle, travelling, etc. stuff is of interest, then please subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you very much for watching. When we are allowed out in the UK, ride safe. Obviously, if you're riding for work and such, ride safe already. I'm choosing not to ride. I'm not using it for work and not going out trail riding and such. I think some people are, but I don't think it's totally allowed really at the moment. I don't think it's quite right doing that, so I'm just behaving, abiding by the rules. Hope you all are. Hope you're all keeping safe. Thanks again for watching. Ride safe.